If there's one thing you can always expect at the University of Georgia, it's that they've got some dogs at inside linebacker. Georgia does it better than any program in the country as far as identifying high school linebackers, developing them, and getting the best out of them at college and into the NFL. And we're going to talk about that today because I know LSU's got some good linebackers, Texas, Ohio State, Alabama. A lot of programs have a strong linebacking core, but I don't think any of them have a better group than what Georgia will bring to the table in 2025. Even without Jalen Walker, the best linebacker in college football last year, and even without Smile Munden, a multi-year starter, it's tough to find a better group than what Georgia has right now. And that's what I'm going to talk about in today's video. We've got quotes from Kirby Smart, Glenn Schumann. We're going to break down what to expect out of Georgia's linebacking core, who's going to start, who could have a breakout season, which freshmen could play. So this is a jam-packed video, just refreshing y'all on who might be the next superstar at linebacker for the University of Georgia. Obviously, Glenn Schumann has developed 3 Butkus Award winners, Roquan Smith, Nakobe Dean, Jalen Walker. And I'm not saying CJ Allen is going to be that good, but I would be surprised if he is not one of the best linebackers in college football this upcoming season. He's a guy with a lot of experience, played a lot as a freshman, started 12 games last year. He's 6'1", 235 pounds, tough, physical, hardworking. He's a mature kid. He's a leader, and he's consistent. He made 76 tackles last year, which was second on the team, 5 quarterback hits, 4 pass breakups. And the guy just finds the football. He was a two-way player out of Barnesville and Lamar County, was an easy 4-star linebacker, but he's got the mentality that is needed. And he's got the talent that's needed too to excel at the University of Georgia. So he's already, a veteran in that group. And again, he started 12 games last year and was a consistent contributor all year long. If he takes another big step forward in his 3rd year, I absolutely expect him to have a monster 2025 season and good enough to where he might be able to put his name in the NFL draft next year and could possibly hear his name called in the 1st round. So I'm not saying he's Roquan Smith or Nakobe Dean. I say those two were generational linebackers, even though they came kind of 2-3 years after each other, probably 4 years. And then Jalen Walker comes up and he wins a Butkus Award too. So it's a theme at Georgia. And again, no one's doing it better. Glenn Schumann is the best linebackers coach in college football. That's a fact. Might be the best defensive coordinator in college football. And I think this group is going to be incredible once again. So again, they're missing Jalen Walker and Smile Munden, but this group is going to be fantastic this year. They also have Raylan Wilson, a guy who played a ton, played in all 14 games last year, made 1 start. Another 6'1", 235-pound kid. So these guys have muscle, and they're not super long like maybe Jalen Walker was, but at inside linebacker, that's perfectly fine. They've got a guy with length I'm going to talk about in a second, but Raylan Wilson is a guy who flashes big playability, made a lot of plays in the backfield. He had 47 total tackles, 7 tackles for a loss, 1.5 sacks, and another guy who just sniffs out the ball, right? He can run, he can cover, and just moves at a different level. And he can blitz too. I mean, that guy can fly through the line of scrimmage and hunt the quarterback. And again, consistently made plays behind the line of scrimmage when he got his opportunity. And when Smile Munden was down, he was able to play a lot. And when they wanted to use Jalen Walker more on the edge, then in the middle of the field, Raylan Wilson was able to step up. So those are the 2 guys that I think are going to be starting at middle linebacker. CJ Allen, Raylan Wilson, guys who came in together. This is both their 3rd year. They know what they're doing, right? They've got the playbook down, pat. They've been better and better as their career has moved along. And they're 2 guys with a lot of experience already. So find me 2 middle linebackers with this much talent and this much experience across college football. I think it's tough to do. So CJ Allen, Raylan Wilson are going to be the 2 guys. But Chris Cole, who was a SEC all-freshman selection last year, he is going to be tough to keep on the bench. 6'3", 225. So he's got length, and he was solid in coverage last year as a true freshman when he was in there. So played in all 14 games. Again, a really impressive feat for a true freshman when you've got guys like Raylan Wilson, CJ Allen, Jalen Walker, Smile Munden all in front of him. He still found a way to get on the field in every single game. Last year, he made 16 tackles, 2 tackles for a loss, 2 fumble recoveries. And we've got quotes from Kirby Smart and Glenn Schumann on him in a little bit. Justin Williams, former five-star. This will be his second season. I think he's going to play a lot. Only had 2 tackles last year, but he, again, too good to stay on the bench very long. Chris Jones, the third linebacker that came in with those two in last year's 2024 class. We'll see if he can stay healthy. He's a guy who's going to want to get on the field. He's 6'2", 230 out of Virginia, a guy that Georgia fans may not know a ton about. They signed Zayden Walker, the number 1 linebacker in America, 6'2", 225, number 28 overall, so another 5-star linebacker heading to Athens. He made 77 tackles for Sly County last year, 13 tackles for a loss, 2.5 sacks, 1 interception, and he also played running back. He ran for 380 yards and 5 touchdowns. So again, that's what he does. Glenn Schumann goes out, gets his guys, and more often than not, he's going to get a 5-star or 2 in every single class. He also signed Anthony Crua, a low 4-star that they flipped from North Carolina. He played at Marietta, number 38 linebacker, number 355 overall. So that's not going to really impress a lot of Georgia fans, but the guy makes a lot of plays. So 55 tackles, 15 tackles for a loss, 7 sacks, 1 interception. He's a guy who made a lot of plays at the high school level. So let's talk about what Glenn Schumann thinks of this group. We were able to talk to him before the Notre Dame game, and I've got more on this coming because we got a big time exclusive from him. But as far as CJ Allen, Raylan Wilson go, here's what he had to say about that duo. He says CJ and Raylan have done a great job in their sophomore years, really growing up in a lot of ways. They've been very vocal. They're great signal callers. They're really serious about how they go about their business. That stood out when they were freshmen because they were trying to get on the field. They haven't become complacent at all. And once they've been able to get on the field, they're hungrier every single day. They practice hard. Guys that practice hard generally play well, and they've continued to get better and better. So I can tell you right now, Glenn Schumann is thrilled about what he has in this room, as he should be. I mean, he went out and got these guys. He identified them. He said, hey, I love this tough, gritty two-way player out of Lamar County. He's got his head on straight, knows what he's doing. He's smart, instinctive, and again, tough, knows how to tackle. I'm going to bring him in, and then I'm going to go get Raylan Wilson from Tallahassee. He wants to go to Michigan, committed to Michigan, but I didn't give up on him. I went and I signed him. That is Glenn Schumann's thinking. And he knows how good they are, and he knows how good the guys right behind him are. So it's just what he does. And these guys get better and better under him. And if you talk to any linebacker that has played for Glenn Schumann, they'll all tell you, hey, I'm a better linebacker because I played for this man. He taught me so much. And Kirby Smart says all the time, Glenn Schumann is one of the best football minds in the game. And I think it's only a matter of time before he's a college football head coach or an NFL defensive coordinator. I mean, the guy just lives and breathes football. And he's got that mentality where he's going to push his guys to get better. And they do. There's no doubt about it. When you've got 3 Butkus Award winners on your resume, it's easy to go into a living room and have a guy and his family on campus for an official visit and say, hey, this is what I can do for your son. This is what I can do for you, dude. And he's going to get his guys. It's just what happens. So he also said a lot about Chris Cole. He said Chris Cole took advantage of Smile Monday being out, helped us in a lot of our third down packages, and he's got a lot of ability, just like Justin Williams does. I think that freshman group, Chris Jones has been out, but that freshman group's really mature, and they go about their business the right way, which, as I said earlier, nobody gets here without ability, but especially at that position. Maturity is so important, and being a pro at a young age to be able to get on the field, because that's what's required of that position in terms of making the calls and the checks for the defense, whether it's in the front or the back end. They've got to take pride in that. So again, you can have all the ability that you want, but if you want to play linebacker at Georgia and play linebacker for Glenn Schumann, you got to be smart. You have to identify plays. You have to make the calls. And that's what we saw from Roquan and Nakobe Dean and Jalen Walker. They had the mental capacity to get the job too, plus the talent, plus the work ethic, plus the drive, the consistency. It takes a special linebacker to be able to play for Glenn Schumann at the University of Georgia. The standard is elite. They're linebacker university for a reason. You go there and you know that, you're going to be a better player. Even the guys that transfer away, Xavier Sori was outstanding for Arkansas last year. Couldn't see the field at Georgia except, occasionally here and there. But he was always a good player with a lot of potential. Just didn't work out with Georgia, but he became a better player at Georgia. And, we saw that at Arkansas. If you were watching some of those Razorback games, that dude was all over the place. So, but if you are able to get on the field early and stay there and earn a starting job, you're one of the best linebackers in college football, because it takes a special defender and linebacker to get that job done. And I think the sky's the limit for C.J. Allen, Raylan Wilson, and all those young, hungry, talented young Bulldogs behind them. So you can read all of this and more over on Dawg Post. Hope you learned something. But again, there's some question marks on this team, no doubt about it. There aren't any question marks at linebacker. This group is going to be outstanding in 2025. Mark it down, and we'll probably talk more about this in the offseason. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you over on the website.